everyone. This is Ian Miller,
What's going on, guys? It's Andrew.
and welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. I have to tell you, I'm very excited with the responses that we've been getting so far.
We've been getting a lot of reviews, a lot of views. So thank you to everybody that's tuning in and actually tuning in every video. So we really appreciate it, and just keep subscribing because there's more episodes coming your way soon.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to it. Tonight we actually do have a sports update, so I'm going to turn over to my co-host, Andrew.
Yes, there is a sports update. I will keep you guys updated once it happens. The Yankees will officially clinch the division tonight if they get a win. So that is going on right now as we speak. So give you updates on that as soon as it happens, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But it's very exciting. They will be in the playoffs for I forgot how many years, but they've been in the playoffs every single year for not every single year, but they've been in the playoffs consecutively. So this year, hopefully they go all the way. So I will keep you guys updated on that.
Yeah, this is a very exciting time because we're getting very close. We don't know quite who's going to be, left standing as the season comes to a close, but the excitement is on.
Well, there should be some fans out there, whether it's going to be either a Yankees Dodgers or potentially a Subway World Series. Subway Series
Yes.
World Series. So that should be pretty interesting coming down the line here as we go into the playoffs. So that should be fun.
Well, it's gonna be a crazy next couple of weeks. We'll get to see who's on top and who's not. Okay, so let's get on with our topics for tonight. As many of you have seen, Ryan Reynolds had posted a very ominous video on his Twitter account.
Yes, he did. That will be should we talk about that now or should that be a little bit later?
Oh, let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it now.
All right. So he did release a video, which I'm sure every Marvel fan looked at,
Mhm.
which he was talking about Deadpool 3, what ideas he was floating around, and then there was one idea that they have thought of,
Mhm.
and what comes up in the background is Hugh Jackman. So,
Yes.
and the news has confirmed that Hugh Jackman will be coming back as the favorite Wolverine.
Okay, I have one question. What the hell, Ryan? You drop a bombshell like this? I mean, he's dead. He's dead in that universe. Again, that's that universe. We don't know what this logo will look like in this particular universe, the MCU. We don't know. But my God, it's mind blowing. He drops a bombshell like this, and I'm just sitting there going, okay, how are we gonna pull this one off? What's gonna happen here? If are we saying we're gonna see more of the mutants in this universe? Are they even called the mutants? Because I don't think they should be called the mutants.
Yeah, I mean, as as a lot of as everyone knows, we last saw Hugh Jackman in the movie Logan, which everyone knows how that all turned out.
Yeah,
Um, so it's kind of interesting to see where they actually go from here and how they bring him back. Will it be like I don't know how to explain it, but will it be time? I don't know. Does it have something to do with time travel? Will he be like in another universe coming into the MCU? I mean, we just don't know. There could be a lot of possibilities thrown out here.
yeah. There's so much speculation as to what's gonna happen, and also we've already seen fans wanting to see the Wolverine suit that was
Mhm.
released, in the Wolverine movie that we
Mhm.
never actually saw him wear. So now people are like, well, can he wear the suit this time?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
That's a question everyone all fans should know the answer to. Will he wear the classic Wolverine suit? I don't know.
I like to think so. I think he should.
I would hope so. I mean, because after all the years we've had Wolverine on the movie theaters, on the screens, you never really saw him wear that iconic Wolverine suit once.
No,
Maybe,
at least like the helmet. I like the helmet that
yeah,
needs to be worn once.
yeah, exactly. I mean, whether we get the suit or the helmet, I mean, we just want to see at least one part of the suit. I mean, if he is at least, which I'm pretty sure he is, he's coming back one last time. I mean, he's got to put on the suit.
Absolutely. Just give the fans what they want. Isn't that what we ask as comic book fans? Just give us what we want.
I don't know.
Yeah. Uh,
Should be fun. Should be interesting. And thanks, Ryan, for that
yeah.
secret. Thanks for that secret right
Yeah.
there.
And of course we actually also saw an image of the iconic Deadpool, logo with the three slashes across it. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking, okay, is there gonna be a fight between these two? We don't
Oh,
know.
oh, that's actually interesting to see.
Yeah.
It would actually be released on September 6th, 2024. So keep that
Yeah.
date. Keep that date open.
Yeah, and when that film actually does come out, we're actually gonna do a movie reaction to that.
Yep.
Before we go into the theater, then after we go leave the theater, just to
Yep.
really give our initial thoughts. And then we'll spend some time, obviously, examining what we had just witnessed and then the full episode. But you're
Mhm.
gonna see movie reactions like that going forward. You know, it's not just gonna be for that day. It's gonna go for movies that we see together.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like we said. We'll do reactions and stuff like that. We haven't really done reactions since there hasn't been any movies out lately.
Yeah,
It's been a slow summer. Um, Thor. We went to Thor. That was pretty much the only movie that we saw during the summer. Um, so it's been a pretty slow summer.
yeah,
So hopefully we'll get those reactions going.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. All right, I just want to keep fans updated that the Yankees have just won the American League East. So they just won the division, and it's really exciting. Everyone's hugging each other. It's it's really exciting. So I'm keeping all of you updated on that.
You just heard first, folks. If you're not watching the game, you just heard first. So now that we've actually gone through what Ryan Reynolds said in his Twitter message, we actually have some other movie news update. They
Mm-hmm.
released the final trailer of Halloween Ends,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually the very final confrontation between Laurie Strode and, of course, the infamous Michael Myers.
Myers. Yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation about this film coming at least maybe a couple years after the last one, Halloween Kills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this film actually takes place 4 years after the events of that one. So we're going to see Laurie, still reeling from her daughter's death.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer gives a few hints that there is a confrontation coming, and the question is, who's going to kill who? Or are they going to kill each other?
Ooh,
Speculations.
that's a big reaction. That's a big I don't know. It's gonna be intense because for over 40 years, I mean, you've seen Laurie and Michael hunting down each other, and everything just doesn't seem to go right. They try to kill Michael, and he's kind of like unkillable. So
Yes.
if you saw in the if most of you people out, if you guys out there saw um what was it, the last Halloween movie, um
Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills, thank you.
You're
um
welcome.
you saw a lot of the people gang around Michael and try to just kill him as much, try to just kill him, but you know, nothing really worked. Whether it was beating him up or trying to shoot him or anything like that, it just didn't really seem to kill him.
Yeah. Let's actually backtrack for a second here. As many of you have probably following the movie series so far, the 2018 film is actually what they're calling a canon official sequel to the 1978 film. You know, he had been spending 40 years in the facility, and of course, he he escapes. You know, as the moving him to another facility, which then leads into him just killing, various people,
Yep.
in
Hmm.
his Michael way. And of course, the confrontation between Laurie and Michael
Hmm.
and her family starts towards the climax of that movie. But the story continues in Halloween Kills. We never quite actually had that before, except for Halloween 2.
Right.
Yeah, the original idea for Halloween Ends was actually to have all three movies, which I'm talking about, the 2018 Halloween Kills and this one, take place in one night. So it's very interesting to see, that it's taking place 4 years later. And we had to speculate, where the hell was Michael this whole time?
I don't
We
know.
only we only get hints of it in the trailer, as you saw,
Mhm.
as many of you saw. But again, we don't know.
No, we don't. I mean, this movie, I'm assuming this takes place like right after the second one, right? Well, obviously
Well,
then it
yeah,
picks up
it's
right after.
yeah, it's picks up 4 years after the events of the last one. So yeah, we don't know what's going to happen, but we're excited because we were very excited when the reboot sequel was announced, and we went to see it. I think opening weekend. Actually saw both of these films that when they released on their opening weekends, and we were just excited. We were just floored by the audience's response, because you know horror is really not our thing. But when we enjoy good horror movies, we enjoy them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this these movies have got me on, you know, on the edge of our seats. So
Yeah, very suspenseful. Very
every
suspenseful.
every every scene, there's a twist and turn. You don't know what's gonna happen. So these are actually kind of my favorite. Like the Halloween is, I guess, is my top. I guess my top movies, my top movie franchise because it was, it leaves you twists and turns, and you don't know who's gonna die and who's gonna live, and mm, all that stuff. So it's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's actually, I think, better than a lot of the other, slasher franchises like
Mhm.
Friday the 13th. That's very repetitive, of course.
Right.
Then obviously Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw the original, and I saw the remake. Prefer the original than the remake, but
Yeah.
again, a lot of people did.
Yeah. Exactly. And then there was um the Child's Play franchise.
Yes, that was that's actually had a very interesting you know, franchise history there. Very iconic, especially in the 1980s. And then when they get to the sequels, a lot of the later ones got a little bit crazy.
Hmm.
Had obviously the reboot, which actually had Mark Hamill voice, the character Chucky, which is very interesting. And but the problem I had with that movie is I kept hearing the Joker. Not a bad thing, not a bad thing, but still, that's the character that Mark Hamill was the guy that we grew up as hearing the Joker's voice. Whether we're watching the animated series or playing the video games or even read the comics. So it was interesting to hear his version of Chucky, but it was still a very well successful movie, which led to obviously a television series,
Exactly.
which had the original voice actor for Chucky returning.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, you have this great actor who was it was kind of getting used to voicing this this other character, who you're not very used to hearing, voice the character, because Chucky's like a murderous doll. But never thought Mark Hamill would be playing that role, but he did. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty interesting, and they now have a TV series with Chucky now.
Mm,
So FX, I believe it is.
yeah.
So I haven't really watched it. Maybe I'll get into it, maybe not. I'll have to watch an episode, but to
Well,
see that
well,
there,
yeah,
yeah,
you kind of have a love-hate relationship with Chucky, I would say.
you could say that. You could say that.
I'm not
Um,
gonna go into detail, though. I'm not gonna go into detail
no,
why I said that.
no, but yeah, I'd rather not talk about that. But
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
again, with them just expanding the franchise with these TV shows, um, especially with Child's Play, shows you like these horror movies, are a big hit,
Yeah,
and it shows, I guess, just they can go anywhere with these movies and tell different stories.
yeah, it was the same deal that I experienced that I felt when I watched the Evil Dead series. I'm a big fan of those films,
Mhm.
as well as the television series Ash versus Evil Dead. The fact that we're actually able to continue that story from the original trilogy films 30 years later
Mhm.
is just exciting. And of course, that led to the unfortunate cancellation of that show when it was extremely popular. But now I'm told that there is actually going to be a animated reboot of that series coming out. Don't know when, but that's exciting. And my point is this: just to continue what you were saying, the expanding of these universes is just exciting because you can pretty much do whatever you want when you're doing expanding,
Mhm.
the character. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, Halloween Kills comes out obviously this October,
Mhm.
and that's gonna be one of our very first movie reactions.
Yeah, we'll talk about that before we see the movie. We'll maybe we'll take a look at some of the reviews of what people think, see get their take on it. But as we've said in earlier episodes, you know, pretty much the reviews we care about is our own. So,
Yeah,
but yes, we will take a look at those reviews, see what they think. Um, you can leave your reactions on the comments. See what you think of see what you would think of the movie if you think the movie's going to be great. And then we'll get a reaction afterwards to tell you what we think about it.
yeah, it's gonna be a blast. So can't wait for you guys to actually watch that. Okay, so now to another topic that we want to cover tonight, and this is probably one of the I'd say it's one of the biggest. We want to talk to you a little bit about the Fast and the Furious franchise. Now, many of you know there's another one currently in production. This is Fast 10,
Fast X.
Fast X. Yes, and we've been hearing a little bit of rumblings of what's going on with some of the characters.
Yep.
More importantly, we actually have another addition of the Toretto family.
Yes, we do. It's gonna be Dominic Toretto's grandmother. She's gonna be in the movie. Another Toretto. Um, as mo if for most of you Fast and Furious fans out there who's watched the franchise, they've added a lot of Torettos in this series. Mostly there's there's Dom, there's Mia, and then most recently there was Jacob. So we, that was not brought up at all in the movie franchise that he had another brother, um, played by the great John Cena. He, I kind of feel like there's a trend here. Something's happening with all these Toretto people coming up, especially.
Oh, there's a trend. There's a trend, all right. I gotta ask this question. Why the hell are we seeing so many of these damn relatives? Are they just coming out of the woodwork? Are they, yeah, what's happening here? Uh, I gotta tell you, it's getting crazy. I like to see some of the other characters' family members, just for variety's sake. It's nuts.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we don't know much about this. We don't know much about the grandmother. So there's that. So
Yeah, then we have the actress from Captain Marvel, Brie, what's her last name?
Larson.
Brie Larson, thank you. Who's supposed to be another Toretto. What is she, the half sister, a cousin?
Well, we don't know that she's playing a Toretto. All we know is that they just released the name of who she's playing. That's it. We don't know that she's playing another Toretto.
Please let this be one of Brian's siblings. Can we see that? Is that a possibility?
And if I recall, you said, if, and I quote, "If I see another Toretto, I'm walking out of the movie theater."
I did say that. I did say that, and I still stand by that statement. But I will say this, though. Folks, don't you think the plots have gotten a little bit crazy? I mean, I know we've left reality like 4 sequels ago, but for God's sakes, going into space? Space? Cars were not meant to go into space. This is not science fiction. This is supposed to be an action adventure, not going into space. My fear is the Fast X, they're gonna go underwater.
Oh
It's
God.
gonna be underwater racing through a pipe.
When they first announced that they were going into space, I'm like, how's that going to work? Is the car going to be on top of a rocket ship going up? And I don't understand how that was going to work. But apparently they made it work somehow. So they
But
made a
the logistics and also the fact, the suits that they were in, I don't think they were space worthy.
I mean, they made the car apparently space worthy. So
I don't know, dude.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you had the three geniuses there from Tokyo Drift uh making the car. So that was actually pretty fun to see
Yeah,
when I saw that. You had Sean, and then you had Twink, played by Bow Wow, and then you had the other one, which the name escapes me right now. But it was really great to see them. But them building a car into space, it wasn't really my idea of Fast and Furious, but
it,
I'm not the director, so
no, and yeah, I don't know where the series is gonna go from here. It's gonna be interesting to see Fast X when it comes out, but I have my reservations about it. And I'm pretty sure, and somebody's gonna see me walking out of the theater. If I do walk out of the theater, I'm gonna have someone stand outside and record me walking out of the theater. All right, just to
that,
say done.
that'll be me.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I will admit, like, some stuff in the movie have been a little what's the word I'm looking for?
uh,
Outrageous maybe, or
yeah,
a little bit over the top. But I kind of want to see them getting back to the street races and a little bit more towards what the beginning was. So
yeah.
I hope they go back to that.
Well, let's see what happens in this next movie. What's gonna happen? Of course, we have another one after this, right?
Yeah, we have Fast X, and then the last one will be Fast 11. Don't have a title of that one yet, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Um, I'm hope I don't know. I mean, but I'm hoping they do bring back Brian, but whether they do or not, it's up to the family if they want him back. Um, whether it's CGI or his brother stepping in for him. So
Well, yeah, it's always a hard thing, you know. You can never ever recast a beloved character who had been part of this franchise for a number of sequels, and of course Paul Walker, again, rest in peace, was very much part of the franchise from the beginning, and
mhm,
it's been definitely hard to see him not in this in any capacity.
mhm,
Uh, you know, Fury 7, I think is one of the best of the bunch, if I'm being honest, because you could really see there was a lot of love and care being put into the making of that movie, and of course, honoring him.
mhm.
And I will say a lot of the CGI didn't quite like, especially with the face, but
Oh no,
still, yeah. If
yeah,
they if they do that for any of these two sequels, get Industrial Light and Magic. Those guys will definitely know what to do.
no, yeah. I mean, through some of those scenes, I mean, you could just pretty much see that the CGI wasn't actually there. Um, but when I first heard about it, it was tragic. I from how it happened and everything like that. I mean, it was just tragic. I didn't think that as the movies went on, I didn't think that they would actually make a few more. I would have just thought maybe they would just do this one and then just end it completely in like a completely different ending or a satisfying ending to end the franchise. But Vin Diesel wanted the franchise to go on for Paul. So
Well, it's a bold thing, but hey, we get two more movies, and then we'll see how it ends.
yeah, so hopefully you get a trailer for that sooner or later. So it's supposed to come out in 2023. So we'll hopefully get some updates on that. Um, so that should be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy though. But yeah, okay. So there's another franchise that we need to talk about, and of course, this has been a popular one. This is actually celebrated their anniversary, and of course, I am speaking about 007.
Yeah, there was a recent anniversary that came up. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been a fan of this particular franchise. I'm sure Smith, you have since GoldenEye.
Yes. To me, I mean, I thought Pierce would be my number one Bond. And
I thought
then
that, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's fine. Yeah, so I grew up with Pierce Brosnan as 007. Um, and my father, who was a major James Bond fan. Um, when he was a kid. And growing up, with Sean Connery and Roger Moore. I mean, all those all those Bonds were just just really great. And then you had Daniel Craig, who was the present one, who
Well, was the president one, I
was the
should say.
present one. Yes, was the present one until recently. But yeah, I mean, I to me, I would think that Pierce would be my favorite.
Yeah, I should say Pierce definitely was by starting James Bond. Sean Connery is actually one of my personal favorites. Ranking the Bonds is very hard for me to do because
Yeah.
they're all great. They each bring something, that's very true to the character.
Hmm.
I think in terms of, capturing the spirit of Ian Fleming, the darkness, I have to say the
Yeah.
closest are Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, and Daniel Craig.
Yeah. Um. Well, wait. So you rank them? Okay.
Well,
something.
I'm just ranking them in terms of being true to the Ian Fleming
Got it.
in the
Right, right.
books.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, because I think after the what was it? Um, License to Kill was a book, right? I
License to Kill actually wasn't a book. It
oh,
was
right.
they actually took elements from previous books
Yeah.
to make a new story because at that point they had ran out of the obviously the novels and the short stories.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the last one. What was the last one again? That was the last one was with Roger Moore, right? The last of the book, or
Actually, the last one of the short stories was actually The Living Daylights
Living Daylights. That's right.
with Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, that's right. Um, yeah. So I think after that there was they just um made up the titles, but yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of it ever for a long time, and I went back to the old movies with Sean Connery when it first started, and I I could see why my dad thought Sean Connery was a great James Bond. I mean, he just wore the suits and I and the fighting and everything. I could see it.
Yeah, I think with Daniel, he just took that one step further, especially
Yeah.
just the opening scene at Casino Royale, because it was a very different type of Bond. He was very, physical. He wasn't quite, you know,
Right.
he wasn't quite Bond, yet. It was towards the end of the movie. He was like, okay, this is James Bond. Then when we got to his later films, I felt we started to get the Bond formula that we're familiar with. It was
Mhm.
actually in Spectre where we're like, okay, this is James Bond. We got it.
Yeah, because in Inspector on the train scene where he wore the white suit
Yeah,
on the train, that I thought like, okay, yeah, this is I like him in this suit. This is kind of like a Sean Connery esque
yeah,
Bond in this scene. So that was actually pretty cool to see.
yeah, it was. And of course, let's talk a little bit about No Time to Die. As many
Hmm.
of you have known, this was the final film for Daniel Craig.
Hmm.
A lot of crazy stuff happened in this film.
Hmm.
You know, him dealing with personal demons, but also the love interest Madeline Swan dealing with her past, coming
Hmm.
back to haunt her. You know, she's actually one of the few Bond women that actually stuck around for another outing. So I was very pleased about that.
Yeah, that was actually surprising to me. I mean, um after because each Bond uh girl never really came back for another film. She was the only one, like you said. But I thought that was actually pretty cool just to see her come back, and I guess actually because it was his last time, finish his story.
Yeah,
So she had a major part in his story, so that was actually pretty smart to bring her back again.
yeah, and just seeing the chemistry and also, just to see the story, in there because if you think about it, there are elements of Dr. No in there.
Hmm.
There's also obviously the huge theme of it is obviously from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and you can actually hear that in the film score, which is I actually was like, okay, I can see where they're going with this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I thought On Her Majesty's Secret Service was a little bit of the weaker ones um, for the James Bond franchise. I mean, I never really stuck around to watch the whole entire thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the problem. I think you need to actually what sit down and actually watch it. In
yeah,
fact,
I
that should be our very first movie reaction, if I'm being honest.
know.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, that should be. Um, just watch the just watch the whole movie and get my reaction for it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, because I mean, you know a lot about the scores and everything, so I never really got to hear the score for On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I think I only watched like 10 minutes of it.
Oh, dude, 10 minutes? Jeez. You didn't tell me that.
Well, you're right. I mean, I should watch more of it. So that's most likely what I'm gonna do.
Mine is blown, folks. Mine is blown.
Well, you had the same reaction when I told you that I only watched like 10 minutes of it. So
I actually didn't know it was 10 minutes. You didn't tell me the actual time until this very minute. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, folks. Sorry.
so folks, I'm gonna get him to watch it, and you're actually gonna see the reaction. When that's gonna happen, very soon. But just quickly before we actually end this tonight's episode, um, right now they're trying to cast Bond. Obviously, that's gonna take a while before we should get to see James Bond, but we would love to hear your thoughts on who should play Bond.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, will it be a younger actor? Will it be a older actor? Because I think they said they want to have an actor with like 10 or more years for the next with the next movies. So they want kind of an actor that'll stick around for a longer period of time.
Yeah, so that's gonna be exciting to see who that's gonna be. I think one of our ideal Bonds could be Henry Cavill, but we don't know. I think he'd be pretty perfect for the choice, but we'll see. Forward to a new Star Trek movie. It's actually been removed off of the Paramount release calendar.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, when I first saw the news on it, that Chris Pine was coming back and the rest of the cast were coming back, I'm like, this is actually, we've had a lot of years since we saw them together, so that would have actually been interesting to see them together again. But now that the fact that they're removing it is kind of tough to hear.
yeah, it's because the fact that there is actually no Star Trek director. Yeah, because the previous one is actually now set to direct Fantastic Four for Marvel Studios.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I have to say this, Paramount, please hire one of us to direct the movie. We could do it.
Exactly. I mean, more likely you. I can co-direct it or produce it or
Yeah,
whichever. But
we'd like to work on the next Star Trek movie because we're fans.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, call one of us up. I mean, we're available.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
until
yes. We're auditioning. We're auditioning now. So yeah,
yes. Just throwing that out there. It's the world.
yeah.
Um, but
Hopefully they'll get it off the ground eventually.
I hope so because those were really good movies,
Yeah, I love them. I love them.
especially Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. So
Yeah, he's
those
fantastic,
were
isn't he? Yeah.
he's really good. And then the best one was what I thought was Zachary Quinto as Spock. So he plays,
So spot on. So spot on,
plays it really well. He
Yeah.
plays it one of the best. Well, obviously, Leonard Nimoy was the best, but
Yeah. I actually started watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and the actor that's playing Spock there, pretty good as well.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can't really, really replace Leonard Nimoy or any of the original actors for start the original series. So, but hopefully we get to see this movie because it's a great version of the franchise, and I hope we get to see it before my hair goes, completely white.
There's no white there. Don't worry.
Folks, I actually do have distinguished white hairs, on my size of my hair, you know.
Come on, I told him over and over. I told him over and over again. There's nothing there.
Hey,
So
hey, it's appealing to the ladies. I don't mind that.
okay, all right.
All right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
And yeah, so hopefully that gets released. Hopefully in another 2 or 3 years, maybe. But back to the James Bond thing for a minute, and then there's one more thing to cover before we end it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so like I said, that's the they want an actor 10 more years. Will it be a 25-year-old, 26-year-old? Will it be a 39-year-old, 40-year-old? I mean, we don't know. We don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think the typical casting for Bond has always been like somewhere between 35 and 40. I think they should definitely go the other direction, say maybe I would say 27, See him at the start of his career,
Yeah,
at least different from Casino Royale.
yeah. I mean, because that's really the only way now that you can do it
Pretty,
after it happened in the last movie. So that's really the only direction they can go.
yeah. Didn't think they killed Bond. That was a new one.
When I had that, oh my god, I was like, it's James Bond. How do you kill James Bond? Unless you were planning on ending the franchise,
They're clearly not.
they're clearly not. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here, and whether it's, which I'm sure it's going to be the start of his career. So I don't know.
What's interesting is this. That whole movie was pretty much about his death. The first 5 minutes was pretty much saying, okay, he's going to die. We
Mhm.
didn't want it, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of something that's actually from the book You Only Live Twice.
Mhm.
When you start the book, there's actually a phrase at the very first page. It says, "You only live twice. Once when you're born, and once when you stare death in the face."
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
and I
good.
think I think that sums up Bond pretty well.
Well, I mean, when you look at how the events happened, I mean, you saw you saw him visiting Vesper's grave in the beginning, and then him getting blown up.
Yeah,
Um, and then as the events went on, he actually he actually had a family now. You know,
yeah.
he didn't know it until later on.
She should have told him. She should
Yeah,
have told him. Damn
I
you,
agree.
Blofeld.
I agree. I agree. Um, but yeah, I mean, especially when they announced that they were getting a new 007. I mean,
Oh, there was so
with
much
the,
speculation. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, with the new 007 and the movie now is like, okay, something bad is happening. So he's either going to retire, or he's just going to be, or they're going to kill him. So
Yeah, and the thing was throughout the movie, she was trying to say, you're an old man. I'm sort of thinking, okay, he's been saving the world before you even got your license to kill, and yet
mhm,
he's shown you up almost every single time that you've appeared. Yeah, you can be a professional, but for God's sakes, don't be disrespectful. All right?
exactly. So it's gonna be different without Daniel, but they're gonna see what they're gonna do.
Well, they're pretty smart producers. They've been doing this for a while now, and they got a very tough job because Daniel is a very tough act to follow. So, either way, we wish them well.
Yeah, uh, I mean, just one more thing that Pierce actually made a comment that Pierce made a comment earlier in the week or last week, that he thought Daniel Craig did a great job, but as far as the next casting goes for the next Bond, his exact words were, and I quote, "I don't care." so so yeah, I mean, those are the words from a former James Bond. So I don't know.
Well, he doesn't care, and you know what? He has the right to say that.
He does. He does. He's no longer James Bond, so he can give us his thoughts on it. So
Yeah. Also gonna be exciting to see Pierce obviously as Dr. Fate in Black Adam.
yes,
So look forward to that. Okay, before we close up tonight's episode, we actually have one more topic, and of course, this is a big one for you fans of this particular show. Netflix is releasing the final season of the hit show Manifest.
yes. It's ending after last season. It really, it ended on a cliffhanger. You didn't know what was going to happen. I thought it was going to be the last season. Um, but it's been really interesting as the seasons went on. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite shows. It's on like it's kind of those one of those shows where you have to see how it ends. But I'm really looking forward to the last season. They released the trailer. I believe it was on Saturday.
Yes, yes, it
Yeah,
was Saturday.
Saturday. I saw the trailer for it. Looks pretty fun. um, so I'm really looking forward to see how they actually disappeared for 5.5 years and where the hell they went and how the hell they came back.
Yeah, I just hope we're not gonna get one of those endings where it was just disappointment because I remember people of the fans of the show Lost were very disappointed in the finale because there were a lot of written complaints, possible death threats to some of the producers. I can't confirm or deny that. Still, you admit this Manifest is a huge fan base. It's one of the reasons why we're actually getting this last season. So you have to make sure that, and speaking to the producers, that you actually end it appropriately and not drag it out.
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. I mean, fan base was huge. Um, there's some confusing parts in there, but I still enjoy it. Me as as a fan, they have to have a satisfying ending and really give us the answers of how everything happened and how it all unfolds. And all then the producers out there, you better give it to us, otherwise you're gonna get the same thing as Lost.
Yeah, we don't want another Lost, ending.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
no, no,
no, you don't. So all of you fans out there for Manifest, watch the show. I'll be watching.
and I'll
um,
be watching too.
um if you want to tell us your predictions on what you think might happen, leave us in the comments. um and yeah, and hopefully we get a satisfying ending. And it's going to be different to see one more thing. It's going to be different to see they recasted the kid,
Yeah, yeah,
son. So that's going to be a different actor um who plays Cal. So that's going to be interesting on what happened to him and how he grew up and everything. So
yeah,
it's all going to be it's all going to be a wild ride.
yeah. There's been a lot of character development through the course of these seasons. Compared to where we had first met them in episode one to where they are now, and there's a lot of progression, but there's also a lot of more mysteries.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited to see how the mystery is solved and how it all ends.
Agreed.
Well, this has been a very exciting episode of Me at Talk with Miller and Smith. I'm Ian Miller.
I'm Andrew Smith.
Have a good night, folks.
See you later, guys. Subscribe.
Please. And share. If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.